Hey everybody, we are here at the Ritz-Carlton in Tokyo at the 20th anniversary Metal Gear Party. It's a long name. That Konami's throwing. It's pretty much a big celebration for them to commemorate the fact that Metal Gear is actually 20 years old, which makes me feel pretty old because I remember it from the very first one. So basically what they did is, first part of the evening was a press conference with Hideo Kojima where there was a Metal Gear Solid 4 game demo. They announced and demoed Metal Gear Online. They showed a little bit more of Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops. They showed Metal Gear Solid Mobile. And they kind of closed it up with Metal Gear Solid 2 Bound SNA, which is basically the new digital comic. And on top of that, we've got this whole party thing going on. A lot of folks from the industry are here. There's live entertainment. They had a bunch of musicians that were doing sort of like Metal Gear music's greatest hits on stage, and it's a really good score, and it's even more powerful when you actually see it perform live. So even though we're going to be putting up a bunch of stuff that was shown off here, one of the things you're not going to see is Metal Gear Online. Fortunately, Konami politely asked us to not tape it, so we don't have anything to show. But what we did do is we cornered one of their guys for an interview, and we've got that for you now. And we cornered Ryan Payton, who is assistant producer at Kojima Productions. And Ryan, tell us about the stuff that we saw today, and we're going to bug you for some more information.
Yeah, well, basically what we're doing here is celebrating Metal Gear, 20 years. We first released the first Metal Gear on MSX in 1987, which is a long time ago, and here we are with prepping up for Metal Gear Solid 4 coming out early 2008. We're decking the halls here at the Ritz-Carlton with a bunch of memorabilia. We had a couple of product announcements today. Lots of Metal Gear in this evening. I don't know if you're sick of it yet, but I'm excited. It's fun.
Well, let's talk about the lots of Metal Gear that got laid on us today. So we saw an actual demo of MGS4. There's a lot of new gameplay that's being introduced, the different camo suits. Can you tell us about the ring that we see around Snake when he's stationary?
That's a good question. It's hard to figure out what's actually going around in the battlefield. So it's kind of integrating that into this third-person perspective where you can watch and see how that ring reacts to noises and things that are going on in the battlefield to give the player, as Snake, more of an idea of what's going on in this battlefield, because it really is, the gameplay is about Snake not infiltrating a jungle or infiltrating a ship, but it's about infiltrating the battlefield where you have two armies going at it, and it's about getting from point A to point B without getting yourself killed, basically.
Now, one part of the demo was seeing who Snake decided to help or not help, if depending on how he's feeling that day. So, how's that actually going to work out into what we play? Are we going to be able to have that choice throughout the game? Is it gonna come back and bite us in the ass later on?
Oh, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I don't know how it could bite you in the ass because we're giving players more options. Like I just said, we go from point A to point B, but it's more like either you go from point A to point B or C or D, depending on who you ally with. And so that's going to change every time you play the game, every time you approach a battlefield. So one time you can decide to ally with the PMCs, the private military companies, and you can go into their base or maybe get some items from them and team up with them. Or you can go with the militiamen, and that's going to take you down a different route. So we're kind of opening up the player to decide. And there's some moral applications too there. I mean, you've got a PMC coming into a foreign country, taking over basically. Are you going to assist them? They've got all the cool hardware, but I mean, like Hideo did today. I mean, he was supporting the militiamen, and they're getting their ass kicked in today's presentation.
We saw a lot of futuristic technology, obviously. Can you shed any light to the crazy flying things that were dropping bombs?
Yeah, those things are cool. Those are things that the PMCs can call in. They're unmanned flying vessels that come in and drop bombs on the militiamen. And you guys saw the really cool effects we had. Like they were taking down buildings. That the battlefield just shakes, it blurs. It gives kind of the players it's kind of really the sense that they're on the battlefield. It's a visual effect, and it also comes into the gameplay too. Because when you go, even when the PMCs might be your allies, you got to be careful because if they're calling in those birds, you don't want to be in their line of sight.
Now, one aspect of the game we were able to scrutinize quite a bit of during the demo were the visuals. And on top of the visual fidelity that we're basically coming to expect from you guys, so you don't have any leeway, we're noticing a lot of the variety in Snake's moves now, because he doesn't just crawl on his stomach. Can you kind of give us a sense of how much more Snake's going to be able to do in this game?
It's going to be a lot more intuitive for players, especially when you compare it to Metal Gear Solid 3. Being able to crouch down and still run at the same time is one new improvement. Being able to kind of slide over to a ledge and then drop down and hang from that ledge and then continue on, patting down soldiers. I mean, a lot of it's context sensitive. We're really opening up a lot of different avenues for players to, you know, kind of approach the game as they want to. It's not just straight up either just shoot down enemies or use a tranquilizer dart. I mean, you can jump into a barrel like you saw. You can use our barrel attack and knock down enemies. We have a stun feature now on the knife. People might accuse us of going in too many different directions and not having like a straight formalized path. You know, with this is the way that the gameplay is supposed to be. This is how you're supposed to approach it. We're really opening up, and that's the same thing for the control scheme. We're giving people more options. You can go through the game from beginning to end, like Mr. Kojima said today, in the first-person view. If you're so inclined, you can also do this behind-the-shoulder view that we have now, and you can click in the R3 button and then swap between either his right shoulder or Snake's left shoulder and have that view, so you get more of a precision shot. And he slows down his movements too, so it's easier to get headshots and to kind of control where Snake's going, or you can pull it back, more of like a Metal Gear Solid 3 subsistence view. So really giving players a lot of options as how they want to control the game. And that's been one of my things that I've been really adamant about within the team, is that we've got to bring this to the next level. We've got to make this game more international and make it, you know, more fun to play, not only for Japanese players, but people from from Europe and the United States. This idea that, you know, Snake's not confined to the jungle only this time. He's not confined to the Middle East this time. He's going to be going around the globe at different areas. And so right now we're really only showing the Middle East. We did show a little bit of our next area, which is the South America environment. That was at the end of the E3 2007 trailer with Vamp and Raiden, and that shows a little bit of a glimpse of the South America environment. So yeah, definitely players can expect to be going to different environments. It's going to bring in different gameplay elements too, so in that sense it's very exciting. It's just not a visual thing, but also it's going to impact the gameplay quite a bit.
Alright, now one of the other product announcements you guys had was Metal Gear Online, which seems to be like an extension of what we saw in Subsistence. So tell us about the demo that we saw and some of looks like you can equip skills on these guys and they have unique abilities that are pretty much up to you to decide what you want to pack them with.
We debuted Metal Gear Online for PlayStation 3 today, and it's a big announcement for our studio because while the game's based on the MGS4 engine, it really is its own title. It's a standalone online-owned title. It's more team play based rather than just, you know, rack up the kill count. And you know, our team's been working on it very hard about this whole integrating this SOP system, where you can link together your teammates, get information about your teammates, what they're up to, and kind of giving another layer of strategy to the game rather than just killing everybody you see. We don't have a video up today that we're handing out to press today, unfortunately. I wanted people to see this game in motion because it looks so cool, and it's hard to describe just by words how the game works, because the visual effect is cool too when you're linking up your team and everybody's this kind of matrixy blue and the opponents are matrixy orange, and it looks awesome. It's a new avenue for our studio because we had the first Metal Gear Online on PS2 with Subsistence. That was really the testing ground, and this is really our first major debut standalone Metal Gear Online product, and it's pretty exciting. We did announce today that we're going to have a closed beta. 3,000 people in Japan are going to be able to apply and do the beta next month. It's going to start in August in Japan, 3,000 people. It's just the first initial taste, and to get people playing the game so we can test out some of these new features, like being able to equip different skills and customize your character, testing out the SOP system, obviously. And then I'm hoping to move forward with a more open beta overseas, maybe later in the year. That's something nothing's been announced yet, nothing's been decided, but it would make sense, and I want people to get their hands on it because you know, our studios are known for making really great story-based games, and we learned a lot, like I said, with MGO on PS2. But I've got a lot of confidence in the game. Mr. Kojima's got a lot of confidence in Metal Gear Online, and I want people to get their hands on it. And I want people to see it too, and it's a shame that we don't have video today. It's a good question. Why has Metal Gear stuck around for so many years? Some of it's luck, you know, but really it is this idea of stealth-based action game. This idea of kind of like a hide-and-seek gameplay gimmick that is one of the few genres that really can capture audiences around the world. You have certain genres that are only popular in Japan or only popular in Europe, but really stealth action is one of those unique genres that are popular around the world, and we've really taken it to the next level with each iteration, and that's why Metal Gear Solid 4 is really excited for me, because it's kind of more open-ended approach to stealth action, to hide and seek, and if you want to go back to this question of, you know, why is Metal Gear so popular, why is it so successful, I think it goes back to really good storytelling, and then what Hideo brings to the series, these crazy ideas, and ideas that for the most part work really well, and then just give this unique vision and unique identification to the series. So, I mean, obviously he wants to hand off the series to another producer in the future. He's talked about that before, but it's going to be a different experience definitely if we have another Metal Gear come out that's not designed by Hideo. So I think really he is the key, but also he's been teaching the team a lot. So hopefully for the next 20 years of Metal Gear, we can have continued success with a lot more ideas. Hideo was really good about letting the team kind of come up with these ideas and kind of nurture the team rather than saying, no, this is the way I would do it. And so I think that really is the future for the studio as well, that we've got Mr. Kojima's vision, we've got his direction, but he's also encouraging our team to come up with new ideas. So I think the next 20 years is going to be exciting, and I feel really lucky to be a part of it too.
So there you go. That's kind of a thumbnail of what's going on here. Not a bad way to celebrate 20 years of Metal Gear. Be sure you check this out for all the content, and keep an eye out, because as soon as we can get stuff on Metal Gear 4 and Metal Gear Online, we will give it to you.